Today's webinar is titled National Coffee Data Trends 2019 with Cheryl Hung, Vice President of Research at Dig Insights.
Today we'll be covering broadly three topics in this webinar. We'll be talking about some of the ethnic groups that we track in the Coffee Trends study. And along the way, you'll understand why we are choosing to talk about ethnicity this year, why it's even important to the overall coffee category. We'll, of course, be touching upon some of the coffee trends and the data that we've been seeing in terms of who is drinking what, and particularly some of the attitudes towards cold brew coffee and ready to drink, which we call RTD, which are some of the newer and trendier coffee beverage types that the NCA has identified and that we're starting to see everywhere in market today. Now, let's look at the coffee consumption through the ethnic lens. When we see at the aggregate level, past day coffee penetration is also fairly stable. Hispanic-Americans and Caucasians are among the strongest past day coffee consumers, followed by Asian Americans, the third set of bars. And then finally, the African Americans have consistently been the lowest ethnic group that we track anyway in past day coffee consumption. And it's not surprising that given what we've learned so far, if they claim to be drinking it, they also think highly of it. Positive perceptions are done by younger consumers. 50% of those aged 25 to 39 specifically rate cold brew as excellent or very good. Claimed usage of RTD is also the strongest among Asian Americans. 40% of Asian Americans say they regularly or occasionally drink RTD. But interestingly, when you look at the other three ethnic groups, you could see that it's actually quite equal. We didn't see this kind of evenness, this even proportion of claiming to drink for cold brew. Cold brew was actually the lowest among Hispanic Americans, but here for RTD, they're actually comparable to levels claimed among Caucasians and African Americans.